Wow, you look great. Okay. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? Hey, it's Dean. Um, it's our weekly live. So if you're new to these, I do this every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time. So thanks for joining me. This week, I'm going to be doing specifically talking about hamstring tightness. This has been a topic that has come up a lot recently. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Also, let's see here. What is this thing? Comments? What's this thing? Star. All right, sorry, I'm just playing around with my live broadcast buttons. Yes, I know. Thank you, Jesse, for pointing that out. That's okay. It's in the dark. All right, all the way from South Africa. What's up? The fasting dad. Hello. Okay, so again, we're talking about hamstring tightness today. Would you like to take this baby? Okay. Bye, buddy. And then I'll also be answering questions. So this is an AMA. So let me know what questions you have about manful yoga. If you have questions about your fitness, we've talked about a lot of different things in the past, like knee health. We've talked about back pain. We've talked about how to integrate yoga with other workouts and things like that. And I also, if I have like a longer video on that, then I'll direct you to that video here. So let's see here. So if you're watching, I'd love to hear what program you're following along to of mine. So if you're using a manful yoga program, if you are new to manful yoga, if you're using a workout, let me know. Just talk about it here in the comments. Let me know what program you're doing. Let me know which workout you're doing. And I will be able to talk about that. And I'm just making sure that everything's working. Alrighty. So, and I also have it's every Monday I release new content in the members area. So we've got a new workout today that I can talk about that for as well. So yeah. All right. So let's start off. So I am just going to freestyle on hamstring mobility. Here we go. So hamstring mobility, being able to bend over and touch your toes. This is something that comes up a lot, all right, and especially in yoga, because people think that this is what yoga is all about, trying to touch your toes. And I'm more so concerned with your overall movement function. And by that, I mean, can you move well? Do you feel good while you're moving? Do you have back pain on a regular basis? And those kind of things. So when it comes to hamstring tightness, there are many causes. Maybe you're just not stretching your hamstrings that much. Maybe you don't work on your active hamstring mobility. Maybe you're sitting a lot. Maybe you're just not very active. Excuse me while I put my Invisalign in. Forgot to put these back in. Yeah, that's gross. So hamstring tightness. If you have tight hamstrings, it's going to affect your back. It's going to affect your knees. Hold on a second. What is going on here? It says I'm live. Sorry, I'm just figuring out if this broadcast is working right now. We are live on Facebook, but it's not showing up. So WTF with that, am I right? Delete. All right, sorry, I got to figure out my live broadcast over here. Something did not go right. So Live broadcast, live video. Let's see here. Tap to add description, tight hamstrings. Watch this. By the way, if you guys are watching me on YouTube right now, start leaving your questions. I'm going to go through them in a second. Let me know if you have questions. This is an AMA, so I can help you out. Also, if you're following along to one of the Manful Yoga programs, then let me know what program you're following along to. Let me know which workouts that you're doing, and I can comment back. Which workouts or programs are you doing? Let me know in comments. All right. Hopefully, this Facebook broadcast is going to work the second time that I do it. Start live video. Starting live video. All right. Trying again here. Hopefully, this works the second time. Let me know if it's working now. All right. Going back to YouTube. Okay. So I talked a little bit about, all right, I have viewers on Facebook. Facebook is working now, everybody. I know that you guys on YouTube are super concerned about that. By the way, if you're watching this and you want to hear a question, or you just want to say thank you that I'm doing this or whatever, hit the like button. It's helpful. Or if you like Manful Yoga in general, just hit the like button. Super helpful for me. And for helping me reach more people. So hamstring tightness. So again, few causes here. You might just not be doing enough hamstring mobility work. Maybe you're not stretching. Maybe you sit a lot. All these things are going to contribute to hamstring tightness. And if you do have hamstring tightness, you're going to feel it in your back. You're going to feel it in your knees. And those areas are going to indirectly influence everything else in your body. So the whole body is interconnected. The first thing that I would say, and there's a lot of things that I can talk about here. And again, I don't have a written agenda for this, so I'm just going to kind of spitball and freestyle on hamstrings in this video. But with hamstrings, a lot of the time, people's hamstrings are just weak. A lot of the times people stretch and they stretch and they stretch and they try to stretch their hamstrings, but they're doing so without actually building any strength. Okay, so if all you're doing is stretching your hamstrings and all you're doing is trying to straighten your legs and reach and reach and reach, and your hamstrings just keep hurting, they keep hurting, then stop doing that. And you can definitely overstretch. So one thing that you'll want to work on is building active mobility in your hamstrings. So doing something like an airplane is better because we're actually building strength. So this is an airplane. We're building strength and we're working on mobility at the same time. So that's something that you can start doing. We do have workouts on that. They're in the Yoga for Men series here on YouTube for free. We also have a lot of those in the members area on my website. So we want to make sure that we're just avoiding and you're just stretching them, stretching them, stretching them. Stop doing that and on strengthening them. A lot of people think that pain is caused mainly by a lack of flexibility. But a lot of the time that pain is actually caused by a lack of strength. So we want to build some strength. One analogy to think about is, and this is something that I like to think about, it's hard to stretch something if there's no substance to it, right? So if we're trying to pull something apart to stretch it and it's really thin to begin with, we might end up just tearing it, right? And that's one thing that's one way that your muscles. So if you have really small, if your muscles just aren't developed and you're just trying to stretch them, and you don't have strength there, then you're not really helping yourself out. We have to have strength. Strength is first, and then we can start to work on the flexibility. So if that muscle is small, it doesn't really help to work on that passive flexibility. Now, on the other hand, if you have tight hamstrings because you're a runner or because you work out a lot and you're really sore, then that's different. One thing that you can do if you are hamstrings and you're very active is to start doing some basic hamstring stretches every night. So while you're watching TV, that stretch that I just showed you, putting your leg up, staying upright through your back. Okay, notice that my back isn't round here. I'm not doing this. I'm not bending forward and reaching. I'm keeping my back flat. And I want to engage this muscle here. Okay, so I want to squeeze my quadriceps and squeeze my abs as I'm doing this. So I'm working on building strength in the front side of my body as I'm stretching the back side of my body. So again, this kind of comes down to building both strength and flexibility. So if I can squeeze these muscles in my thighs, in the fronts of my thighs, and my hips and my abs, as I feel that stretch of the hamstrings, that's going to provide a more change as opposed to just doing passive stretching. At the base of hamstring mobility, though, we do have to have passive range of motion. So before we start doing, if you have difficulty extending your leg forward like this and holding your leg up, could be a lack of strength, lack of mobility. But we need to be able to passively get into a position before we start building strength there. So if you're having difficulty with that, something that you can do is a reclined strap stretch. So I'm going to have a weird camera angle here trying to do this. But one stretch that you can do to work on your hamstring mobility, and that you can do every day, every night, get a strap, lay down, put the strap on your foot, just hold your leg up and stay here and just take really deep breaths and hold here for 2 minutes. And you want to keep your back flat. I want to make sure that my back is neutral, that I'm not arching my back, that I'm not rounding my back, but it's just neutral and relaxed. I'm going to squeeze my thigh, press the back of my knee forward until I feel a stretch, and then flex my toes down. So that's something that I highly recommend doing. That's a super simple stretch, but that's going to help your hamstring mobility. So start by doing that every night for a couple of minutes. Make sure that you're not overstretching. Make sure that you are trying to build some strength in that as well. But hopefully that's going to give you some tips on starting to work on hamstring mobility. Also, a lot of people think that because they have back pain, that they have tight hamstrings. There are a lot of muscles connected to your back. The sole cause for back pain is not tight hamstrings. You have, if you want to look through the muscles of your hips really quick, we have muscles in we have muscles in the outer hips. We have muscles in the backs of your hips, your glutes. We have muscles in the fronts of your thighs. At the top, your hip flexors. We have your quadriceps. We have your inner thighs. We have your adductors. And then we have your hamstrings. And all of those muscles connect to your lower back. So if any of those muscles is significantly tight, it's going to cause more stress in the lower back. You also have muscles in your back, right? We have your erector spinae, we have your thoracic spine. If you have limited mobility, twisting from side to side, then you could have low back pain. So really, when we're approaching, most people think that, my low back hurts, I need to stretch my hamstrings. Yes, that might be part of it, but really it's comprehensive. We need to look at the area from the knees all the way up to the shoulders if we have low back pain. So don't just stretch your hamstrings over and over again if you have low back pain. One more thing I'll say about this: a lot of people, they get that low back pain, they think that it's tight hamstring related, and they go right to this, right? We're just trying to touch your toes over and over again. And for most of us, we spend a lot of time in this position with our back, right? Because look at what I'm doing when I'm sitting, right? This is what's happening to my back. This is what I'm doing when I'm sitting at a desk. So if we go right back to doing that with our forward fold, then you're just giving your body more of what you don't already need. So it's really helpful to keep your back neutral if you're stretching your hamstrings, but also just to do other stretches that counter and that look different from what you're doing in a seated position. So getting your hips open like this, stretching your hip flexors, doing external rotation with your hips, doing internal rotation with your hips. So doing like a pigeon or doing like a 90-90 position for internal rotation. So there's a lot of stretches that go into your overall back health. It's not just stretching your hamstrings. So that's just a little freestyle on hamstrings. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to get into some of the questions here now. All right, we've got some people following along to the 14-day essentials challenge. Guys, by the way, that challenge is $1. An awesome way to get started with Manful Yoga. It's a 2-week challenge, 14 unique workouts. I'm going to put that link here in the comments section for you guys. and check that out. All right. All right. Sandy just started that challenge. Day 1 of 14, really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sandy. Nancy, that leg stretch with the strap is my favorite. If it's not already in the workout, I'll always add it to the end. That's a great idea, Nancy. Dilly, I have right hamstring tightness. I usually use essential rope and use foam roll on the back hamstring. Yep, that's a good idea. By the way, I do find that foam rollers are, for me at least, they're usually not as helpful as I want them to be to help with stretching hamstrings. So what I like to do instead, I like using a ball instead. So I'm trying to look around my room and see one. I kind of see one right now. I have this this tool here. This is called a Mobo system. But if you have something, anyways, the point of this is that it's ball shaped, right? So for hamstrings, I find that just rolling with a foam roller doesn't really do the trick. But something like this that's more ball shaped, that's less less straight, is going for getting your hamstrings to start opening up. And just for in general, if you have really tight muscles and you're stretching and you're not noticing much improvement or much benefit, you probably need to do some mobility work. So getting a tool like this is called the Mobo system. Foam rolling, even just getting a basic foam roller and doing some foam rolling to help loosen up that muscle tension, to loosen up that muscle, is going to be way more effective than just stretching alone. So I'd highly recommend, if you're not already, you should do some mobility work. It's going to help tremendously. All right, comments over here. YouTube. Been doing your yoga for men series. It's super helpful and enabled me to work out my lower body again. That's really great. Very active, lift weights, sit most of my day. Yep. If you sit for your job, if you have an office job, there's a lot of you. There's millions of you guys. You're not alone. The more you can stand at your desk, the better that's going to be. So yes, you're going to be confined to your desk, but we can get up and stand, every hour or so. You can get up and stand. If you can do, some yoga stretches, if you can do some high lunges, get into a lunge position. If you can stand on one leg, lift your leg up, do a back bend, all these positions that you can do to basically put your body in a position that is different from when you're sitting. That's going to help tremendously. And again, even just doing a minute or two of a stretch or a pose every hour or every other hour is going to help tremendously. I've been trouble doing pigeon pose, feel like I'm tipping over, been using the block, tried using wall, don't feel it as deep. Yeah, so I do have videos, Dude Milano. I do have videos on how to do pigeon pose on my YouTube channel. I think if you search how to do pigeon for guys or pigeon pose for men, you're going to find a video. So you can check that out. But yeah, pigeon, if you're finding that it's uncomfortable with a block, you can also using a pillow instead. So a block is pretty rigid. If you stack 2 pillows and you put your leg on top of that instead, you're going to put your outer thigh on top of those stacked pillows. That's going to help. So I'd recommend doing that. Christopher is still practicing video for morning yoga challenge. That's great. That's a free challenge I have on YouTube. Shoulder blades area of my back have been hurting after I sleep. What is a good movement for this? James, I'm not quite sure what's causing your shoulder blades to hurt, but with shoulder pain in general, it could be weakness. It could be you're doing too much. So I would start by doing some shoulder blade strengthening. If you're not doing things that help with retracting your shoulder blades or pulling your shoulder blades together, that's helpful. If you're not doing something like strap behind the back, if you're not doing something where you're bringing your shoulder blades together and working on building strength there, this can be very helpful. I have a program called Bulletproof Your Shoulders that's in my members area that's going to show you a lot of different exercises to help with improving your shoulder blade strength. But if you're spending a lot of, I would think about, to answer your question for the shoulder blades, Greg, I would think about what you're likely doing during the day that could make the your shoulder blades hurt. Maybe you're not doing enough strengthening. Maybe you're spending too much time in this position here. Maybe you're sore and you're doing too much and you're not stretching enough. So there's a lot of things that could happen there. I would also recommend that you get in there with a lacrosse ball, or you do some sort of massage to work out the knots in that area, and just get that tissue moving a little bit. All right. Have not been stretching and need to. Should I stretch before or after a workout? So when you say stretch, knee kid, there's a couple ways to think about it. You should be doing active mobility work before a workout, things that are going to help with improving your muscle activation, things that are going to just turn those muscles on and basically build strength before you go straight into a workout. But in terms of passive stretching, recovery stretching, I find that I like doing that either at the end of my workout or at the end of the day. So you want to do that stretching after a workout, or you can give your muscles a little bit of time to relax, and then you can do it at the end of the day. But as long as you do it that day or the following day after a workout, that's when stretching is going to help you. Ian plays a lot of golf. Hamstrings ache for days. Okay, so Ian, this is a good question. So what's probably happening, so if your hamstrings ache for days after you play golf, it's probably because your hamstrings are doing too much. So if your hamstrings are really sore and you don't have any soreness in your glutes or in your quads, it's probably because you're not using your glutes, you're not using your quads. So that would be what I would say. I would say you need to work on your glute strength. You need to work on your glute activation and building up that muscle awareness in your glutes, so that when you do go golfing, you start to use your glutes and you're alleviating your hamstrings of all of the work that they're doing. So if you have excessive tightness, excessive pain in that one muscle group, it's probably because they're doing too much. It's probably not because there's something wrong with them. It's probably that the other muscle groups aren't helping out. So I have a strength foundations course, which is going to help with building muscle activation, with helping to get all of the muscles of your body to work properly. That is just $9. It's an amazing challenge. It's 6 weeks. It's a ridiculously good value, $9 to access my entire members area for about 7 weeks. Check out the link here in the comments to sign up. You can also go to manflowyoga.com /special to see that directly. So that's what I would recommend, Ian. Alrighty, let's see here. Can you advise about the use of weights with yoga, Alan Jenkins? Yeah, so a really simple way to do this is to just do 1 day yoga and then 1 day weights. So there are some more technical things that you could do. Like, for example, you could start doing stretching and yoga immediately after your weight training, or at the end of the day after weight training. But the easiest way to do this is just do weights on 1 day and then do yoga the next day. And there doesn't have to be that much of a science to it. You don't have to do like this one pose and this other pose the next day. Just follow along to a yoga routine. And most yoga routines, especially most of my yoga workouts at least, are full body. So you're going to get some active recovery for whatever you ended up doing the day before. But just generally speaking, do 1 day yoga and then do your next day weight training, and then just alternate that. Jack Rose from Oaxaca, Mexico. Bulletproof Your Back will be starting phase 3 tomorrow after a 2-day mandatory break. All right, Jack, that's good. Hope you're doing okay. I saw your comments about your whatever happened to you. Hope you're doing okay now. Ian, thanks again for the advice. You are welcome. Hope that was helpful. All right, let's see here. Tin Man has a very active job, not sitting all day. So Tin Man, what you'll want to do, instead of doing things where you're countering a sitting position, you're going to want to get off your feet. So you're going to want to do a lot of floor exercises. So you're going to do things like a kneeling lunge. So I'm going to do this up on my bench so people can see. But you want to do like a kneeling lunge position, right? So your knee down, doing some relaxing stretching like this. You're going to want to go on your back and do some of those stretches that I showed you before on your back, right? Where you're getting the strap, where you are getting your leg up in the air, stretching it, bringing it to the inside, bringing it to the outside, doing stuff like that. Doing twists from your back, moving from side to side like this. So that's what's going to be most helpful. If you're spending a lot of time on your feet, then you're going to want to work on getting your hips open, moving your spine, but doing it on the ground instead, because you're already spending a lot of time on your feet. You don't need to do much of that. Yeah, you're welcome, Tim. Hope that was helpful. Uninerd comedy. I love Manful Yoga. I finally convinced my friends and family to do yoga thanks to Manful Yoga. Woo! That's pretty cool. Thanks for letting me know about that. All right, let's go into comments back on Facebook. Got some links that I shared with you guys over there. Lots of people going in and out. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Jeff. I have myalgia paresthetica, and with all of my stretching, it has not helped. Any specific stretches you recommend? Jeff, no, because honestly, I don't know what that is. I would recommend you get with a physical therapist. If your stretching has not helped, then I would not do stretching. I would work on something else. I would try doing something different than stretching if stretching is not working. I would work on strengthening instead. If I had to say anything, I would recommend, Jeff, I would recommend the Strength Foundations course, just because a lot of that is just basic movements, a lot of physical therapy like movements that focus on building strength. So that's what I would recommend, because it's probably a lot of what you're going to see, very similar to what you'll probably see somewhere else, but especially if the stretching is not working at all. Yeah, Strength Foundations course would probably be good for you to try, just because it's more focused on strength. And if the stretching is not doing anything for you, then I would not keep doing it. Keith Russell, using blocks to raise my ankles in a deep squat, I can fully relax my leg muscles. Without the block, my leg muscles tense up and the squat is not as deep. So Keith, the problem with using the blocks is that you are making it so that your ankles cannot get the workout that they need to improve the mobility. So I would kind of recommend kind of a combination of both. I would recommend that first you're doing something to improve your ankle mobility. So Keith, I'm going to show you here. I need to make sure that you can see me. So I'm going to put this down a little bit. So if I'm doing a lunge, right, hopefully you can see my foot here. I'm going to work on getting my knee forward over my toes. Okay, so this is what you need to work on. You need to work on getting your knee to pass the toes while keeping the heel down. So you can do lunges like this to help improve your ankle mobility. But don't rely on that block, especially a block is really tall. A block is 4 inches thick. So if you're using that block, that's a lot of ankle mobility that you need to be making up for. So I wouldn't recommend that you keep doing that, because you're kind of teaching your body that you don't mobility, and you're going to make up that ankle mobility some other way. And it's going to cause some weird imbalances in your lower body. So I would not recommend continuing to do that. I would recommend working on your ankle mobility instead. Vishruth, what do you do for a living? This is what I do for a living, dude. Yeah, this is what I do. I don't have some other day job. This is my job. My job is actually doing this, and this is just a very small part of my job. But I use YouTube to talk about my website, my members area, and my training products. So that's what I do. Before this, I was a lacrosse player for the University of Wisconsin, and I started teaching people lacrosse on my team. And then I wanted to help them do yoga when I wasn't with them. So I started making videos and putting them on YouTube. So that's my story. Mario, super excited to begin a system with your wisdom share. Yeah, dude, if I see you in the members area, awesome. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to help you out. Derek Rice, enjoying your 14-day foundation challenge. Do you have any recommendations for cramping? Derek, I do have a video on this in the members area, in the workout, in the tutorial section on cramping. So if you go in there and you search cramping, you'll see it. But cramping is just going to go away with time and as you build strength in your feet. So one reason why people stand on this chair, this looks ridiculous. One reason why people have pain in their feet is because they wear shoes all day and they don't move their feet. And then we get them into positions like this where their toes are tucked, or they're reaching with their toes, or they're flexing their toes as much as possible. And it hurts because their feet are just weak there. So if you have cramping in your feet, number one, it's because your feet are just weak right now. There could be it also could be related to hamstring weakness and core weakness, which is just going to get better as you practice and you build strength. And it could be dehydrated. So make sure you're drinking water. But over time, if you're working on your feet mobility, if you're working on these postures, then that cramping is going to go away with time. But you need to make sure that you're doing the workouts frequently. If you just do it once per week, probably not going to go away that quickly. 3 per week is generally what I recommend as the effective minimum. And of course, you can do it every day if you want. What kind of poses would you recommend for glutes that don't fire, aka dumbass? That's funny, dumbass. I've never thought of that before. If you have trouble with glute activation, there are a few exercises that you can do. The first is going to be a single leg bridge. The best way to get your glutes to fire is a single leg bridge. 100% hands down. The single leg bridge is the best exercise for that. So a single leg bridge looks like this. You're on your back, lifting your hips, and then you bring one leg out. That's your single leg bridge. Another exercise that you can do is called a donkey kick. So you're going to find something, hold on to, bring your leg up, and you work on kicking your heel up and back. If you look at me directly from the back, you're going to see that I'm pushing straight back. And then once I reach the motion with my hips squared, now I'm going to open up my hip and push it up and over. But those are my 2 favorite exercises for working on glute activation. I'm doing the strength and flexibility program in the members area every day. Is it bad to do the same routine? Christopher, no, it's not bad to do the same routine. That's a good question. You can keep doing it as long as you feel like you're not getting overly sore. And hopefully you're continuing to notice growth from it. You're continuing to get stronger from it, right? Or you're noticing that you're progressing or feeling better. But you're welcome to do a workout every day. There's nothing wrong with that. I would change it up eventually. So, after 2 months, you should probably be doing something different. But yeah. Is there a preferred amount of time to do yoga? The stiffer I feel, the longer I stretch. Should I always shoot for 1 hour a day? Hey, that's a good question. No, you absolutely do not have to do 1 hour of yoga a day. That's a lot, especially if you're doing, other workouts too. Yeah, you can do it by feel. Like if you can do it as much as you want to do it. Generally, I would say like a minimum of 10 minutes is good. 5 minutes is okay, but 10 minutes is good. It's more important that you're being consistent and getting into the habit of doing it on a regular basis, rather than trying to do 1 hour every day, because that's a lot and you'll probably eventually run out of steam with that goal. Is it okay to do both working out and doing a daily gym workout? Yep, Don, it's fine. Just make sure that your body's recovering enough, that you're eating enough, and that you're not, overtraining. If you start to feel that you're more lethargic, that you're not as motivated to work out, that you're feeling very sore all the time, then you're probably doing too much. Generally speaking, if you're going to be doing yoga and gym and working out at the gym or doing weights every day, you're going to want to reduce your volume. You probably don't need to be working out more than 90 minutes a day. And keep in mind that the more exercise you do, the more recovery work that you have to do, the more sleep that you're going to require. So, Abel, hey Dean, I became a dad recently. What do you recommend me to relieve back pain and get more energy? Great channel, bud. Hey Abel, thank you. I actually have a workout called Yoga for Dads that I specifically made for myself because my back was hurting a lot. So I think that workout is on YouTube. If it's not, I do have that in my members area, so you can check that out. check that out in the members area at manfulyoga.com/join. We do have a lot of dads in our community, so it's a great place for dads like you and me. Is there a way to strengthen the glutes when you have weak ankles? Sometimes bridge is tough. If bridge is tough, then just keep doing it. Bridges and donkey kicks are a good way to strengthen your ankles. Your ankles shouldn't be that sore from doing bridge. If you're having difficulty doing bridge because of your ankles, I would say you need to keep doing it because your ankles need to have that strength. I'd be more worried about your ankles than your glutes if you're not able to do bridge without feeling strong in your ankles. Your tips position for males had been awesome for me after 5 years, Yogi. Hey, you're welcome. Glad it was helpful. All right, cool. So I'm going to end it there because I ran out of questions and I've been talking for the last 40 minutes and my voice is very tired. So I hope this was helpful. Join me next week. Again, I'll be here every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time to answer your questions and also go over a particular topic for the week. In terms of Manful Yoga in our own members area, we just launched a new workout today. We have a 35-minute full body stress relief routine. 35-minute full body stress relief routine. I really enjoyed filming this. I think it's awesome. I think you're going to enjoy it. You can check it out on the homepage of the members area at ma.manfulyoga.com. If you're not already signed up, you can get signed up for $1 with our 7-day trial. It's a great way to get started. And then if you want to take my challenge, I have this really awesome 6-week challenge called the Strength Foundations Challenge. That's going to cover pretty much everything that I've been talking about here, working on your overall back health, correcting muscular imbalances, helping to strengthen your glutes, strengthening your ankles, strengthening your shoulders, helping your body feel better, helping you get into a habit of working out regularly, being consistent with your fitness, and just feeling stronger, feeling better. You can sign up for that at manfulyoga.com/special. Again, it's just $9. I also don't know how much longer we're going to have this challenge available for. So if you are curious and you don't want to miss out, if you sign up today, you can get started today. We have a round starting right now today. So you can sign up for the Strength Foundations Challenge and get started today at manfulyoga.com/special. Again, it's just $9. There's no promo code required. Just an awesome way to get started, awesome way to get access to all my programs, all my workouts for 7 weeks for $9. All right, guys, if you're new, be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out. Like this video if you're watching it and you liked it. I've been talking for 40 minutes solid, so I think like a like would be cool to get one from you guys. So hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. We've got about 55 likes right now on YouTube. And on Facebook, I'm not sure how many likes we have, but it'd be cool if you hit the like button. So, all right. Thank you. Have a great day. See you next week. See you on the workout. See you on the videos. See you on YouTube.